ESBR Boxing. Delighted to be joined by Owen McKendry as we are in final prediction mode for the big heavyweight fight going down at the O2 Arena in London tonight. It's Joe Joyce and Derek Chisora. But before we get into final predictions, Owen, guys, if you're watching this video and you like our content, please do hit the subscribe button. There's a little icon in the bottom corner there, which will kind of show you how to subscribe and whatnot. Yeah, we would really appreciate it. We've got you covered from all angles, really. Reviews of fights, previews, big fight breakdowns, final prediction videos like this, weigh-in reactions, interviews with fighters and promoters and all of the big names in boxing. We've got you covered. So please do tune in and subscribe to the channel. But as I said, this one's all about Joyce Chisora, the massive heavyweight fight going down at the O2 Arena. Let's be honest, Owen, neither man's going to have to go looking for each other. We're not talking about the two most elusive heavyweights in the world. With that being said, mate, we'll start at the end. I know we kind of sometimes hold our predictions right to the end, but we'll go in at the start and then dissect it after. How do you see this one playing out? Joe Joyce, Derek Chisora, who wins? How?
Joe Joyce for stoppage. I think Derek Chisora is going to come out swinging. I don't think, as I said, I've done some content for this previously. Anyone that's watched it will know I said I don't think it's going to set a CompuBox record for most amount of punches thrown. I think it's going to be a lot of haymakers. I don't think there's going to be too much box and move. I think there might be a fair bit of butting heads, a fair bit of hugging. But yeah, I just think Chisora is going to come out swinging. Um, and Joyce is going to get to him sort of mid rounds, sort of round five, round six. Um, it's not a conclusive thought. I do think there's a lot, and I mean a lot of question marks over Joe Joyce after that Cash Ali fight. What has he actually got left physically and mentally? And Jesus, the questions you can ask over Derek Chisora will be sat here all day. So that's another video for another day. But yeah, I do think Chisora is going to come out swinging, and then Joyce is going to get to him in the mid rounds.
Interesting, interesting. Do you think that Joyce will maybe have to overcome a little bit of adversity, kind of right down in the gum shield in the early rounds, then, if and
Oh,
maybe go a round or two down because, as you said, we know Chisora is going to be dangerous early.
Oh, mate, absolutely. I think Chisora is going to be Derek Chisora. I think he'll walk out, and as they go to meet in the middle, I think as they meet, he's just going to throw an overhand right and see where it lands, sort of thing. An absolute just a windmill, and see where it goes. I think, like you say, they're not the most elusive men. It's probably the level both men have fought at in terms of pound for pound in the division. It's probably the least head movement you can possibly get. So I think Chisora is going to land a couple of bombs, and I really do think it's going to be interesting to see how Joe Joyce takes it after the Zhang fights. The Cash Ali fight, he got heavily criticised. Some fair, some probably a bit harsh and a bit too far. But yeah, I think to say Joe Joyce is going to have to overcome adversity in the early rounds would be a bit of an understatement against Chisora. Whether Chisora is 21 or 41, he's only going to have one fighting style. So yeah, I think rounds two, rounds three could be big Chisora rounds. But then I think Joyce will take over and get to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting one. It really is. I completely agree with what you said, but part of me is like, I was talking to Elliot Stott yesterday when we were doing the weigh-in reaction, and it's like the fact that Joyce has come in really heavy again, basically the same identical weight to the Zhang rematch, and only 5 pounds lighter than the Lash Ali one, makes me think like he's not going to move anywhere. And we already know that he just used to use his head as his defense, which was fine because he seemed to have this granite chin that you could hit him with a baseball bat and he would just shrug it off. What does he anymore? Like that second Zhang one was an emphatic knockout. That like the first one obviously broke him down with the eye swelling and all of that. The second one, he just laid him out. So for me, the question marks over the chin now of Joe Joyce. There comes a time when a fighter's chin maybe just it does go. You can only take so many blows to the head, I suppose, and when you're using it as your defense. And mate, I said this in the preview with Elliot Grigg as well. This might be one of my most outlandish takes, but I'm going to Dora. I I don't say it with any huge confidence. Like I know what Chisora is. I think Chisora is definitely past his best. But I just think there's so many chinks now in the armor of Joe Joyce that we've seen in the last few fights, the Zhang ones in particular. And there's just something telling me that Chisora is going to land on him in rounds two, three, four. And Joyce will be wobbly on his legs and won't be able to recover him. And Chisora will get him out of there. If Chisora, hasn't got him out of there within four, maybe max 5 rounds, I think Joyce will take over and maybe stop Chisora. Yeah, I do see that happening. But for me, it's all about how Joe Joyce reacts to that first overhand right, that first hook that Chisora will ultimately land at some stage because we know Joe Joyce doesn't move his head. So if Chisora lands his Sunday best and Joyce does just shrug it off, well then I think we all know who's going to win the fight. I think it'll be Joe Joyce, probably as you said by stoppage in the mid rounds kind of. But see if Chisora lands and Joyce goes down or starts to wobble. I think Chisora could do him, to be honest. And yeah, it'll be really interesting. I mean, I think this is kind of a fight where you'll be on the edge of your seat for 9 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever is the first few rounds, because let's be honest, we're going to be sitting there and it's not the highest level of world heavyweight boxing now, let's be honest. And Joyce could maybe come again if he was to win this. And he does have wins over um Dubois and Parker, which are aging like a fine wine, I suppose. But I just there's just something telling me that Derek Chisora will stop Joe Joyce, which is mad. I never thought I would say something like that, especially a few years ago when people were talking about Joyce as maybe the guy that could beat Fury, could he have beaten Joshua? You know what I mean? These were conversations people were having. So yeah, it does sound ridiculous, but I'm going for old Del Boy, mate. I think he's gonna get it done.
I don't think it's outlandish or ridiculous at all, personally. As I say, I've said it in the videos as well, and I think it is the fair question of if Chisora lands an overhand right and Joyce doesn't like it, Chisora is just going to jump all over him. And if he doesn't like it, it's going to end badly because if he's going to try and swing without a guard, Chisora's going to land. And like you say, it's not going to end well. So there's a lot of question marks over two aging men, two men who are now, well, Chisora's definitely past his best, but after that Cash Ali performance on the back of getting absolutely iced by Zheli Zhang, it's a question of is Joe Joyce past his best? So it's an intriguing fight. As you say, it could be a 12-round slugfest, or it could be intriguing for 9 minutes. But I don't think it's outlandish at all, and I think it's definitely worth for those who like a bet, a little fiver here or there on Derek Chisora, definitely.
Yeah, interesting, mate. We'll go quickly round this off by going around. I'm gonna go Chisora round four. What about you for Joyce?
I'll go Joyce 6.
Interesting, mate. Let's be honest. Probably going to be a stoppage. I hope we haven't jinxed it and it isn't a 36-minute bore fest because I don't really want to watch that to be honest. But anyway, yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts on the fight. Who's winning this one? Joyce Chisora. Do you really favor Joyce, or are there, like me, do you have some questions that need answered around Joe Joyce? Do you think Chisora has one last big win in him? Is it tonight against Joe Joyce? Let us know your thoughts. And as always, guys,